Hi, today we are watching MJV Animations. I'll make sure to put him in the description if you guys want to watch him. Look at the description and yeah. And I have to make a new um god dang my movie. It's gonna Halloween 2. It doesn't work. My movie's coming out, so look at my channel, look inside, see private videos. It's upcoming. This movie, the first movie is coming January 6th, not February 6th. Don't. Oh my gosh, just listen to me. It's February 6th.
For privacy reasons.
I mean January.
Let's call him Jake.
I'm so dumb.
It was a few years back. I was 10 at the time. It was during summer, and my parents left me at my cousin's house along with my brother. For privacy reasons, let's call him Jake. My cousins were 7, 13, and 16.
Oh.
The youngest was Mel. The middle one Riley.
Don't let her go.
And the oldest was Daisy.
She's gonna die.
They were all girls, and my aunt was there, but she worked night shifts at the hospital. My parents left us there for a week while they went on a business trip. The first few days were fun. We played games, stayed up late, and watched movies in the living room.
I love Scooby-Doo.
Daisy was the babysitter, since my aunt worked night shifts at a nearby hospital. Everything was normal until
a knock on the door.
Night. Daisy let us make a blanket fort in the living room. We filled it with pillows, snacks, and a flashlight. Around midnight,
I would love to make that.
Mel said she heard tapping from the hallway.
Oh, hell no.
We teased her for being scared. But then Jake whispered, "I hear it too." We all went silent.
Oh. Where are you? Where's this guy in the story?
It was
Is he Jake?
And uneven, almost like someone dragging their feet. Daisy rolled her eyes, got up, and checked.
Oh, you for the
hallway
die.
was empty. She laughed it off, saying it was the old house creaking. But when she came back, I noticed she quietly locked the front door and closed the curtains. That night, around 2 in the morning,
Okay.
I woke up to the sound of Jake whispering my name. "Hey, look."
He's a girl?
Eyes. He was pointing toward the hallway. The flashlight had died, but I could still make out a faint figure standing by the door.
Oh my gosh.
Pale and still.
I can see his
I
skin
blinked,
color.
thinking my eyes were playing tricks on me. But then I heard it. A woman's voice. Soft.
Your
and
auntie?
shaky. "Come out, sweeties. I made cookies." My heart froze.
Oh my god, what is
My
that
aunt was
angle?
at work. Jake grabbed my arm, whispering, "That's not Auntie."
Oh.
Daisy woke up, realizing something was wrong. We all stayed quiet, huddled together.
Where's the girl?
Then came knocking.
Lock the door. Have you already have it locked?
Mel started to cry. The doorknob slowly turned, creaking.
She's
whispered,
only 7 years old.
"Stay here."
How old is she?
Stood up, clutching a broom like a weapon. The door opened halfway.
Risking
There
your
was
life
no
for
one
them.
there. The hallway light flickered once, twice, and for a second, I saw her. A woman in a long, white gown, her head tilted, eyes wide open. She was holding something.
That jump scared me.
A plate of cookies.
I just jumped back in real life.
Then the light went out. Daisy screamed and slammed the door shut. We
Lock
pushed
it.
a chair against it and stayed awake till morning.
Lock it. Put that
My
dresser
aunt
in front of
came
it.
home. We told her everything. She looked pale but calm. Then and she said something I'll never forget. That's why I don't let anyone sleep near the hallway. That's where the old lady used to fall. Later, I overheard her telling Daisy that an elderly woman had lived and died in that house alone.
Yeah, why
They
would
found
you
her
live
body
there?
days later, holding a plate of cookies. That
I
night,
actually have cookies
Jake
in my
wouldn't
house right
speak.
now.
When I asked what he
Let me
saw,
go get me a cookie. Wait.
just whispered.
Got my cookie?
She waved at me. To this day, whenever I visit that house, Jake refuses to sleep in the living room. And sometimes late at night, if it's really quiet, we still hear it.
Oh?
Tap, tap, followed by a faint voice. Come out, sweetie. I made cookies.
Okay. Great story. Okay, what episode?
Very happy I'm not in school anymore. I graduated a few years ago, but more and more every day, I hear about incidents at school. On the
Creepy
news,
things.
on the internet, and
Is that him?
texts my friends send me.
Oh.
All sorts of horror stories. But the stories online are the ones I'm always finding myself glancing through.
Yeah.
I've seen stories online of people relating to how their school went into lockdown. And
You
the
guys
story
need
I'm
to
talking
have,
about some hobo
like,
who had been living under the school,
news,
some
like,
crazy person from down the street who finally snapped one day.
news break.
I don't know if they are true, but all I know is our school went into lockdown once.
And look at
I don't know
real,
if the people at
true
my school know
stories
the whole
and stuff.
story as to what happened.
Scary stories.
I don't even know if I understand
Like, this
it
is
myself.
actually true.
It still seems like a sort of fever dream. Something that didn't happen and couldn't happen. It was the middle of third period math. I had just finished a big test. Found out later I had made a bunch of mistakes and ended up getting a D, but that's not really important to the story. I used the hall pass to go use the bathroom. Unfortunately, the school bathrooms were all located at the stairwells, and, of course, the bathrooms on the first floor where I was were closed for repairs. I had to go up to the second floor, but before I got there, the bell rang. The bell never rang during class before, but as it did, an announcement came over the PA.
It's a lockdown drill.
You're entering lockdown, and this is
I know
not
it.
a drill. Please, all students and faculty, follow all school procedures. I froze. I could hear sirens approaching. I came out of the stairwell, but already the doors in the hallway were closing, and I could hear them locking. I was alone and out in the open. I could go into the bathroom now, but the doors have had no locks on them since my freshman year. After some juniors trapped a freshman in the bathroom and duct taped him inside his stall, they removed the ability to lock them at all. If there was somebody wandering the school, I'd have no chance if I went in there. I ran down the hall. I could see classrooms turning out their lights and covering the windows. I couldn't turn to them for help. All the instructions said to not answer the door. I had to find someplace safe nearby.
Yo, kids are not gonna be safe.
And I saw my chance. The janitor's closet was open. Lunch was up next period.
They got a
so
lock in there?
setting up tables when the announcement was made. It wasn't in there, and it could easily be locked from the inside, so I jumped in and shut off the light. The only light I saw was from the bottom of the door. I waited, and the sirens grew closer and
Lock the
eventually
fucking
stopped.
door. Lock
Time
the door.
passed, and I wasn't sure if I was happy that I couldn't hear anything going on, or tense because I had no idea what was happening.
Lock the door.
And I heard footsteps. Lots of them. They stopped in the hallway. Must have been police, I thought. I could hear radios and other assorted noises. I didn't think it could be some sort of lone gunman or nutcase, so I listened. One guy in particular sounded like the one in charge. Okay, are we in position? Another guy answered. I didn't know what his rank was, but clearly he was not in charge of the first guy. Yes, sir. We know the suspect is here in the building. C team is across the campus, as ordered, and B team is covering the back entrances.
That's the police, right?
The chief responded. Good. Remember, he could look like anyone, but he must not escape. It's my fault he's here, and it's my duty to deal with him. I couldn't hear much for a while. There was too much movement and too many people all talking to each other to make out anybody from where I sat. I just waited for a little while.
Bro, get down.
I could leave the closet and go back to class. Then, that's when it all happened. The chief yelled out, "Hold it. Put your hands in the air." Commotion outside stopped abruptly. A moment later, clothes rustled loudly as what sounded like a large number of guns were drawn. Lay down on the ground. Leave your hands where we can see them. I stayed quiet except for a few of the guns cocking. I sat down on the ground. Don't you dare try what I think you're going to do. You're not at the Institute anymore. I thought I would hear shots go off back and forth, and eventually somebody sang, "Suspect down."
Oh?
What I didn't expect was the scream. It wasn't a normal scream. It was somebody crying out in terror. It was like a wounded animal mixed with the sound of a bandsaw hitting concrete.
Ah.
I've never heard anything like it before, and I hope I never hear it again. Then the guns began to fire. The horrible scream happened again, and then other screams. And then the sound of tearing. I saw the shadows under the door as people moved and fell over, and heard the telltale splatter of gore as it soaked the floor. There was another gunshot, and I nearly yelled out myself when a bullet punched through the part of the doorway. It wasn't very big, but I put my eye up against it, and I could see a group of people being attacked by somebody. But something wasn't right about him. He looked too long in places, like he'd been stretched in a taffy machine. He was moving so fast, though, that I couldn't make anything out, except for him grabbing people and throwing them around like they were nothing. There was blood everywhere, more gunshots, screams happening again and again. I pulled away from the bullet hole and sat back in the closet. Then the scream began to fade. I heard a thud and then more footsteps. The chief spoke again, but he was breathing heavily, like he'd been badly wounded.
Oh?
Team A, he's down. I repeat, he's down. We need to clean up immediately.
So he's a chief.
I didn't move. I wanted to look again, but as curious as I was, I didn't really want to see. But I heard a lot of commotion.
I'm gonna give me
for a
some
long
more
time,
cookies.
and then nothing.
Wait a moment. Sorry, I'm a bit back.
How long it was after that, but then the PA announced the lockdown had ended. I came out of the closet, tried not to look, but from all the sounds I had heard, there was not as much sign of a fight as I thought there would be. Even the blood I had seen in that brief time through the bullet hole had all been removed. I went back to my class and just told everyone I had hidden in a stall in the bathroom. People were impressed with my guts for doing it, but if nobody else heard that scream, I certainly didn't want to bring it up. As you might expect, we all went home early that day. Police and EMT were everywhere, but as far as I could see, nobody was being taken away by either. My parents came and were so happy that I was all right. They had been following everything on the news and came as soon as they could. At home that night, I ate dinner and waited to see what happened on the news. The live coverage had ended a long time ago, but when the news came back on at 10 o'clock, I wanted to see everything. As it started, I saw classes had been canceled for the rest of the week, but then things started to get weird. The news talked about a student who they refused to name, how he had come to school armed, but had been taken into custody after a short firefight. Stranger still, in the footage of the hallway where the scuffle had taken place, the door of the closet, which had been my refuge, was totally unscathed. Not so much as a scratch on it, let alone bullet holes. It appeared to have been replaced outright, well before any investigation could have been completed. I saw pictures of the student being led away in cuffs. He didn't have a mark on him. He wasn't even wounded as he was pushed into a police car and driven away.
Oh yeah, he was rolling people. Was that the one?
In my glimpses through
They were
that
like
bullet
beating
hole,
him left
I knew
and
that
right.
wasn't the same one I saw. The clothes were completely different. The one I had seen had been wearing a black t-shirt and jeans. One getting into the police car was wearing a white t-shirt and shorts. The news said nobody had been hurt despite the gunfire, but I knew people had been wounded.
Yeah, it was
I
like
heard them screaming in
blood
agony as
everywhere.
something vicious had attacked them. And there was what the chief guy had said.
It was
Talking
blood.
about something being his fault. The institution. That he could look like anyone. I don't know what happened that day for certain.
Oh yeah, he could
I
look
didn't see
like
enough,
anyone.
and I didn't hear enough to get the full story. But this is what I can tell you. I know there was no shooter at our school. I know that somebody was arrested that day. Someone who I didn't know, who I never heard about ever again. That's right. A shooter who never made another day worth of news. Just disappeared. When was the last time that ever happened? I know that chief guy and his squad were not cops. I don't know who they were, but I know cops don't clean up a crime scene like that. And no human being has ever screamed like that. Ever.
No one.
Whatever it was that I heard attacking those people, all I know is it came into that hallway where I was.
Oh yeah, that must have
I
been
was
him.
alone, and if it hadn't been for that janitor's closet, I wouldn't have been safe. It could have looked like anyone. Nothing tells me that squad wouldn't have helped me either. What was it? How long had it been in our school? Had I ever been alone with it and never known what it was? Who were those people who had come for it? Where had it come from?
Oh yeah, they came to shoot him and stuff. The chief is not the one. I thought chief was the one. My dumbass. More cookies,
My
man.
name's Ryan
Did you
Green,
throw
and I
the
teach 7th
cookies
grade
away?
English at a middle school in a mid-sized town in Ohio. It's one of those schools that tries to feel new, but already has that worn-in, tired look. I've worked there for 4 years now, and until last spring, nothing truly bad had ever happened. This all took place on a Thursday afternoon in May. The end of the school year was close. The kids were restless, and everybody had checked out mentally. It was fourth period, right before lunch. My students were working on some short stories, and for once, the room was quiet. That's when the lockdown alarm went off. Now, we've done drills before. Every teacher and student in that building knew the sound. But there's a difference between the drill voice over the intercom and that raw, fast, repeating buzz that means it's the real thing. The air in the room instantly changed. I remember saying, "All right, guys, that's lockdown. You know what to do." Trying to sound calm, even though my voice cracked halfway through. I locked the door, turned off
He's
the
a
lights,
teacher.
and motioned for everybody to get into the corner, farthest from the windows. We'd practiced it a dozen times, but practice never prepares you for the real thing.
For real.
And real panic. Sneakers cuffing the floor, chairs scraping as they try
They
to move
keep on
quietly
saying,
and quickly. I crouched
walk
near the door,
away
just close enough to see
from
the
the
narrow strip
school,
of
walk
light
in a
from the hallway
straight file
to the
line.
bottom of the door
It's a
frame.
fire.
I could still hear
Like,
the faint
bro,
echo of the alarm
we
coming
are
from the
not
other end
gonna
of the
be
school.
stay calm.
After maybe
The
30
fire
seconds,
is gonna
it stopped,
saute us.
and the building went
It's
dead
gonna get
quiet.
us.
Then the
Are you
silence
serious?
started to feel wrong. Usually during lockdown drills, the principal or somebody on the intercom would remind everybody it's just practice. But this time, nothing. Just the occasional nervous breath or sniffle from one of my students. I could feel my own pulse in my throat. I checked the clock on my desk. It had only been 5 minutes, but it felt like an hour. I took out my phone and texted a few of the other teachers in my group chat. Any info?
That's what my teacher
Nobody
has.
responded.
My teacher.
About 2 minutes later, there were footsteps in the hallway. They stopped right outside my door.
Oh,
Every kid froze. Even the air felt still. I could see the faint shadow of someone's legs under the crack of the door.
oh my
It
God!
was a soft knock. I didn't move.
Get
The knocking
something to
came
beat
again.
his ass if he comes
This
to
time
the
louder.
door. If he like shoots the
Then a
door,
man's voice
stay
said,
away.
"It's Officer Daniels. We're checking rooms."
Oh no, he lying.
That's when I started shaking my head to myself. No. We'd been told not to open the door for anyone, even if they claimed to be police. Only admin or actual officers accompanied by admin would unlock rooms after an all clear. But his tone was steady, firm, like how a real cop sounds. I hesitated.
No,
Students were staring at me like I was supposed to know what to do.
you
I
dumb.
mouthed, "Stay quiet," and kept my hand on the lock. He knocked again, a little harder. "Mr. Green, it's safe now. You can open up." Hearing my name made my stomach drop. I hadn't said a word since the lockdown started. The classroom phone hadn't rung. The only way someone could know my name was if they actually knew me or if they'd been reading the labels outside each classroom door. I didn't answer. After a few seconds, the voice got closer to the door, like he was leaning in. "Ryan, do you hear me? It's all clear." The way he said my first name, way too casual. Then it went back to silence. We stayed like that for probably 15 minutes. My legs
Bro,
started cramping from staying crouched by the wall.
open the
The
door.
girl started crying quietly, and another student hugged her, whispering that it'd be okay. I wanted to say the same, but I didn't believe it. Eventually, I heard a new sound, like a clink sound. Then another. It took me a second to realize somebody was trying to use a key on the door. That's when every hair on my neck stood up. Whoever it was fumbling, trying multiple keys like they weren't sure which one fit. I slowly grabbed a heavy metal stool from beside my desk and
Beat his
stood ready
ass
with
if
it
he
raised,
comes.
just in case the door opened. The sound stopped. A few seconds later, there were fast footsteps going down the hall. And then, screaming. It came from somewhere near the main office, followed by what sounded like something heavy crashing. Maybe a chair or a table.
Is that
Then
the same
another scream.
thing?
This one definitely from a student. One of my kids whispered, "Oh no," and I motioned for them to stay quiet. We could hear running, more doors slamming, and faint yelling. Then the sound of someone over the PA system. Their voice shaky. "Remain in lockdown. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." That voice belonged to our assistant principal, Miss Diaz. Hearing her tone, that shaky edge made it all feel more real. After that, time blurred. Could have been 10 minutes or 40. Nobody dared to speak. I kept checking my phone, but still had no service. Probably overloaded from everyone else doing the same.
Yeah, all the teachers. Bro, I'm sick and tired of these ads. I'm sick and tired of you. I am
Finally, around what must have been 12:45, I heard loud footsteps again. This time more organized, multiple people walking together, the distinct sound of radios crackling. A loud knock. This is the police. If anyone's inside, do not open. You're unlocking doors one at a time. Through the window panel, I could see the reflection of a tactical vest and a gloved hand holding a key ring. The lock clicked, and the door opened just a few inches. A sheriff's deputy poked his head in and whispered, "You're all safe. Follow us to the gym." My students filed out, shaking and some crying. I stayed near the back of the line, counting heads over and over. The hallways were filled with more officers, their guns drawn and pointed downward. When we got to the gym, I finally saw other teachers and students gathered, everybody pale and exhausted. I spotted Miss Diaz near the bleachers on the phone. It took about 20 more minutes before anyone told us what happened. Apparently, a man had entered through a side door. Around 11:30 a.m., one at maintenance had left propped open for delivery. He wasn't armed, at least not with a gun, but he was.
See, that's not a policeman. That was the same man that was talking to Mr. Green.
In the hallway outside the main office and asked who he was.
He said he was a police officer.
The janitor knew right away that wasn't right. Nobody was supposed to have visitors without signing in, and went to alert the office. That's when the man started yelling and slamming the crowbar against the locker. The school resource officer tried to approach him, but the man ran down the hallway toward the math wing where...
He's so close. Stick your hands off and drop his ass. Push his ass on the floor.
He never made it to any classrooms, thankfully, but he did manage to break into the front office by smashing the glass panel with a crowbar. That's where the screaming came from. Miss Diaz and two secretaries locked themselves in the nurse's room while the man tore through papers and threw things around the front desk. By the time the police arrived, he'd already fled through a back exit. They caught him about 20 minutes later in the woods behind the baseball fields. He was a former student's father, someone who had been banned from the property a year earlier after threatening a teacher during a parent meeting. The scariest part, he'd been spotted earlier that morning walking around the parking lot, but nobody thought much of it because there was a walking trail nearby. That night I couldn't sleep. I just kept replaying the sound of that voice outside my door, saying my name. The next day I went back to school for a staff debrief. One of the officers
give me some more cookies.
said something that made my blood run cold. He reviewed the security footage, and at one point, the man had stopped at my classroom door. He spent almost 2 full minutes there. In the footage, you can see him bending down to read the name plaque next to the door. Mr. R. Green, room 204. Then seconds later, he started knocking. The officer told me they think he was trying to find his daughter's old teacher, but her last name was Greenfield. The similarity in names was probably what brought him to my door. If I had opened it, if I believed that voice, I don't even like to imagine what could have happened. Classes resumed the following Monday, but things felt off. The blinds on my door stayed down for weeks after that. Every time a footstep echoed in the hallway, I froze for half a second. Even now, months later, when the PA system crackles to life, my heart still jumps a little. I've learned when you hear about lockdowns in the news, it always feels distant, like something that happens to other people.
Yeah.
When you're the one huddled in a dark classroom trying to keep 20 terrified kids quiet while someone knocks
Those
on
are
your
not
door,
20.
that's when you realize
Not
just how
20
thin the line is between ordinary life and the moment everything breaks.
Like, why do people do this? Why is their job doing this? One more. Like, why in their life?
I was a junior at the time, and gym class was at the end of the day. Third period on Mondays and Wednesdays. The gym itself was old.
They have a life.
A slab of sneakers on the hardwood floor. The squeak of
Like, get a
basketballs
job.
and the smell of sweat mixed with old disinfectant. We had a sub that day
You don't
because
have
our
to
regular gym teacher, Coach Raymond,
steal their kidneys.
I remember thinking it was
Or
strange because our subs usually came in with a clipboard, a whistle, and a list of activities. This sub, though, didn't introduce herself at first. She just walked in quietly, clipboard in hand, but her demeanor was, like, off.
This is a horror story,
And that
so
was him. Nobody remembered him signing up. He was new. At least he claimed to be.
4 true
He
horror
said his name was
stories,
Evan,
so
and that he just moved to the
they're
district.
horror.
He was tall and pale, with dark, greasy hair that hung in his eyes.
For real.
His gym uniform didn't exactly fit. Shorts were too short, and the shirt was a size too big. But the weirdest thing about him was how calm he was. Everybody else was joking around, shooting basketballs, or talking about the upcoming homecoming game. And Evan just watched.
Yeah, watch my oncoming movie. It's only, you can't watch it until it's January 6th.
drop
the
around the gym.
when the
Most of
movie
us
comes
laughed,
out.
the usual slow kids
Not,
trying to keep up, but Evan stayed at
Halloween
the
2
back,
is coming
keeping
March
perfect pace,
3rd.
without even seeming to breathe hard. By the time we got to basketball, he had already silently claimed a hoop for himself, spinning the ball in his finger and shooting with precision that was almost unnatural. Halfway through, coach's sub, her name was Miss Langley, as we eventually learned, blew her whistle. "Line up for a quick drill," she said. Everybody did, except for Evan, who lingered behind. When she told him to join, he didn't respond, not verbally.
A new kid?
He just walked over slowly, almost gliding, and lined up at the end of the row. Nobody said anything, but there was an odd tension in the air. About 10 minutes
Yeah,
into a
I
passing
feel
drill,
bad for the one
something happened
in
that
front
made the
of
entire gym go quiet.
Even.
Evan caught a ball that was thrown a little too high, and for a second, he just stood there, not looking around, not passing it back, just holding the ball like it weighed nothing, staring at the floor. Then he slowly looked up, and his eyes locked onto mine. I swore I could feel it. That moment lasted maybe 3 seconds, but it was enough to make my stomach twist. Then the whistle blew. Miss Langley called everybody over. "Okay, we're going to do some team scrimmage," she said, trying to sound normal, but her voice had an edge, like she was nervously forcing it. Evan didn't move at first. He just turned and walked toward the far end of the gym, completely ignoring the teams. I glanced at my friends, and they all had the same uneasy look on their faces. The scrimmage started, and we tried to ignore him, but then I noticed something strange. Evan wasn't just standing off to the side. He was watching everybody intently, almost like he was memorizing every movement. He didn't blink much. His gaze flicked from player to player, then back to the ball, then back to us. I tried to shake it off, but the more I watched, the more I felt like he wasn't human. Not in the sense of being
Yeah, he's not human.
just
This
wrong.
is a horror story.
Then the gym lights flickered, just for a second, but it was enough to make my heart jump. When they stabilized, Evan was closer. Nobody
Bro
had seen
got
him move.
these 11
He was just
powers.
suddenly near the
He
sideline,
can stop
behind
it.
the benches, silently observing. A few kids laughed
Or
nervously,
he
but they didn't
Vecna or
approach him.
something.
That's when it started. A soft tapping noise, almost like fingernails on the wooden floor,
Oh,
echoing from the far side
that's
of the gym.
Vecna.
Everybody paused mid-play, looking around. It wasn't a bounce for the
I'm
basketballs,
finna play
and it
some
wasn't
running
from
up
shooting
that
the
hill
floor.
so you don't touch
It
me.
was 100%
Oh,
coming
hell
from
no.
Evan. He was tapping the ball lightly on the ground, slowly, rhythmically, but the sound didn't match the motion. It was sharper and hollow, like somebody was testing a weapon.
Oh.
Miss Langley walked toward him.
So is that a weapon?
"Evan, you're going to need to join a team," she said, trying to keep her tone calm.
He's gonna
He didn't
kill
respond.
the teacher.
He didn't even look at her.
Girl, you
He just
better
kept
back
tapping the
up.
ball and staring straight ahead. Then the
He's
announcement
gonna
came
die.
over the PA. "Lock down. Lock all doors. This is
He's
not a drill."
he's one of them.
A collective gasp swept through the gym. The sub froze, staring toward the doors. Evan stopped tapping the ball and turned to face the exits, like he was expecting someone. His head tilted slowly, almost unnaturally.
What,
A
is he
competitor
finna save
listening
him?
for the slightest movement. We all scrambled to the corners, teachers yelling for us to get down and cover ourselves or do anything to stay safe.
Get under the
I
bleachers.
dove behind one of the padded mats by the wall with my chest tight, my ears ringing from adrenaline.
Hiding from
Nothing happened.
a cabinet or
The first
something.
sound that really broke the panic.
Like a cabinet.
The panicked running of other students or teachers, but one set of footsteps, moving across the gym floor with terrifying precision.
Is that
Evan?
Evan?
Behind the mat.
Is that
He
you?
was moving too, but not like anyone else. He wasn't running, and he wasn't walking. He was sliding or gliding along the floor without sound.
Oh, he ice
keeping pace
skated?
with footsteps that
Oh.
weren't his. The sub tried to use her phone to call the office, but the signal was gone.
Oh, you finna
Just
die
as she
by
started
Evan.
typing, the gym door handle rattled. Something was trying to get in. Evan froze, and for a moment, it looked like he was listening.
Who is
His eyes went
Heaven?
wide, his pale face almost ghostly in the dim light of the gym. Then he spoke. Not loud, just a whisper that somehow cut through the silence. "They're already inside." Everybody turned toward him, horrified. Miss Langley asked, "Who's inside? What do you mean?" He didn't answer. He just looked at each of us, slowly scanning the room, and then crouched low, almost animal-like.
Is bro
keeping
finna
himself between the door and the rest
is bro
of us.
finna save him?
My friends next to me were
Is bro
crying
finna save
quietly.
them?
I couldn't move, and I couldn't breathe. Then the
I
footsteps
thought he was
stopped.
weird, but
It was silent.
W
thick it pressed down
W
on your ears.
Mans W
And then
Mans
tapping again, coming from the opposite
W
side of the gym
even
this time.
W
Not from Evan.
W
From the
man
corner where nobody should have been.
W Evie
Everybody froze. I realized I was
Evan.
sinking feeling that this person,
whatever it was moving freely inside the building. The school doors were locked, but they had found another entrance, and now they were inside.
Oh, I thought it was
The tattoo
Evan
moved
going to
closer.
save them.
Slowly, one step, pause, one step, pause,
Okay.
and a soft, low whisper. Don't move. Don't even breathe.
Oh,
They slightly grabbed her whistle, blew it sharply, then immediately put her hand over her mouth like she had realized it was a terrible idea. Evan
yo,
stood taller than
dumbass.
before and moved toward the sound. He just stared. Then the sound vanished. Nothing. No footsteps, no tapping, just silence. Finally, after what felt like hours, the principal's voice came back over the PA. All students are safe. Lockdown is lifted.
Bro, I
We didn't
love
move. Not
NJV
immediately.
animations.
We were
Like,
escorted out
bro,
in a
you
fashion
guys should
that
watch
made
this
sure
dude.
each student was
He has
accounted
the
for.
great, like,
Every
scary
cop and officer
stories.
there had that
True,
tense professional
like,
look
scary
scanning every
animation.
corner. But when we looked back toward the gym, Evan was gone. Nobody could explain how he had disappeared.
Oh,
Nobody knew if he had left with the
he
intruder,
probably Vecna or
if he had been
something.
part of it, or if he was something else entirely.
So he's a L Evan.
Some students swore they saw Evan outside the school near the tree line,
Yeah.
hours after the lockdown ended. Others claimed the police searched the building and found no record of anyone named Evan ever enrolling in the school. No paperwork,
Oh.
no emergency contacts, nothing. I never saw him again, and I never want to.
Yeah, for real. Like, he's scary as fuck. Okay, see you guys in the next one.